tremendous examples of powerful women at this conference. And so why would we celebrate a women's business conference if we're so together? Well, we have to pat ourselves on the back and recharge our batteries once in a while. And also, I think to discover that there's no need to compromise success in business or a professional life in order to be the other women we want to be, you know, the wives, the mothers. The difficult part is finding out who we are, discovering what truly makes us happy, and having the courage to do it. And I know all of you women here have had the courage to do it. Congratulations. I'm very proud to be a part of that. And what better example can we give our daughters and our sons, quite honestly, than finding our own purpose and helping them find theirs by them seeing that example in us, by having found balance. And what should be our purpose? I can't answer that question for each of you sitting here today, but I can tell you what I think about purpose and how my experience have shaped and reinforced my beliefs. We're all constantly searching for answers to those big questions, and I think we want to leave something behind. We want to do something in the world, particularly women, that means something to us, to our families, to our environment, to the cosmos. And I truly believe that each and every one of us are connected very closely to everything and everyone else. And we can profoundly influence life, even with our simplest actions. And I'm sure that one of the many reasons you've come here is for that connection. You connect with like-minded people, maybe with people that might have different ideas to share and different opinions for you to learn from. But we thrive on connecting. And by now in my life, I've learned how enriching it is to truly focus on and enjoy each connection that you make each day. Each one is different. Each one is important. And if we honor each moment of our lives by being completely present in it, we can access that power that connects us to everything. And ever since I was a young girl, I felt that I was here to be of service. That thought was present in every aspect of my life. It fills me with joy to be of service to someone else. And despite experiencing some, you know, pretty tough moments here and there, I felt content that whatever I was experiencing was something that I was going to learn from, and it was going to make me stronger. And even through the toughest times, I felt the reverence of connectedness to everything, to nature, to people, to animals, to the world. And despite whatever inner pain I might be experiencing, it kept me engaged and curious, you know, like what's next? What's going to come up in my life that is going to challenge me, that's going to make me learn and be stronger. And this is what I've come to share with you today, because quite honestly, I mean, you're probably sick to death of my music. They've been hounding you with it all day. So that part's been done. I just want to share. I want to share what, you know, amazing things I have learned, and I wish that I could sit here and listen to the amazing things you've learned, but that would take way too long, wouldn't it? So I'm going to speak to you. Who I am, where I got here, wherever here may be. I was born in Havana, Cuba, 1957. Do the math. You're doing it. I know it's easy. I'm proud because as far as I'm concerned, you're either older or dead. So I'll take older any day. And I've loved every one of my decades. Each one I say, that was the best decade. Oh, the 20s, yeah, that was great. It was kind of tough, the 20s. The 30s, fantastic. Little rough spot in there. 40s were fantastic, and now I look forward to fantastic 50s as well. So I was born into a Hispanic family, Latino, whatever PC word you want to call it. Cuban if you want to nitpick. And despite having heard this machismo thing, actually Latin families are very matriarchal. To the point where we do let the men think they're bosses on occasion. You know, you got to throw them a bone once in a while. But we are so matriarchal, especially Cubans, that it's reflected in, you know, the way we call each other. For example, for any term that is non-male, you know, in English you call them honey, darling, sweetie, lambkin. Or maybe not lambkin, I don't know where that one came from. But in Cuban, it's mainly one word. And one of my friends, Rosie O'Donnell, who comes down to Miami, she has a house where I live, and she tells me all the time, she said, "You people make me crazy." And first I said, "Why?" And then I said, "You people? What are you doing?" Talk about not PC. She goes, "Well, you make me crazy because you call everyone mama. You call your mother mama. You call your daughter mama. You just called your dog mama." And I said, "Now, mama, that is not true." That's how matriarchal we are, we Cubans, you know. And I'm lucky to have been born into a family of bigger-than-life mamas. My grandmother, who was and remains to this day my most precious and beloved role model, was a woman way ahead of her time. She was born in 1905. She wanted to be a lawyer back then, so you could imagine how incredible that was. But life had another, thing to throw her way. She was born into a family of 12 brothers and sisters, and at age 9, she had to be pulled out of school to work. This was very tough times, and she was very sorry she couldn't go to school, so she taught herself to read and to write. She was an amazing human being, so spiritual and human and phenomenal. She married my grandfather, who was 19 at the time. He had come from Spain to Cuba. She was 14 years old, okay? Now, back then, that was normal. I'm thinking, I have a 13-year-old daughter. I'm thinking, she'd be married next year. No way. Thank you very much. But she actually told me when she was old, a lot older, she said, you know what, that she was in love with my grandfather. She loved him, of course. But she really just wanted to get out of her house. She was caring for 12 brothers and sisters. To her, marriage was easier than what she was handling at home. And they made a wonderful team. She was the brains behind a lot of the successful businesses that they started. She handled everything at home. She had a wicked sense of humor. And she ended up having to actually take care of my grandfather, who had gotten run over by a bus and was in a body cast for a year. And she ran all the businesses plus the home, and then he suffered heart attacks, and at a pretty young age, she was running the show. In fact, when she came to this country, she was 57 years old after the revolution, and she started a business that was netting her about $5,000 a weekend. And I'll tell you how she did this. She came from Cuba. They had nothing. She had rented a house with whatever little meager savings they had, and there was a little league team that would play at a park adjacent to her house. So, Cubans love baseball. They would go and watch the little kids play. A lot of Cuban kids were there with their parents. And she noticed that they didn't have concessions there. It was just a little park. And the parents, would lug all this stuff down. So she, being an incredible chef as well, she prepared all these Cuban finger foods and cool drinks and everything and threw them in a shopping cart and headed out to the ballpark. So she sold out everything within an hour. She continued to do this for a few weeks, and then she told the parents, you see that house right there? My yard is adjacent to the park. I'm going to be doing this there. You can come. She put a pitching machine in for the kids so they could be practicing pitching. She put domino tables and chairs for the men, and she created a business that she was able to buy her own house and then help my mother out because we were with my dad in the army traveling around. So she created an amazing business out of nothing, and all she did was notice a need for something, and she filled in that gap. She was amazing.